visionary for the people in your life. I want you to care about them enough, to love them enough, to help them climb over the thought that I could never do that. I could never be that kind of person. Just like what Dr. Hendricks did for me. He built a dream out there where there wasn't one. He planted hope where I only had fear. And he helped me to stand taller, I think, to walk faster, and to believe something that up to that point in my life I thought was literally impossible. You got it? It's the word expect. Expect. So let's write that in our notebook in box number 4. It is the word expect. In a sense, then, what you want to do is to move past your description, past your reaction, into something called anticipation. Anticipation. Obviously, this takes the past through the present and it throws it out to what direction? It throws it out to the future. The future. Now, friends, that is a special moment. That's a moment that's so rare today. I mean, when's the last time that somebody talked about your future in ways that just absolutely made your heart beat faster, and you found yourself saying, oh, yeah, I would love to become that kind of person. You really think that I could do that? Friends, it doesn't just work for children or for 20-year-olds. This works for great-grandmothers who are wondering what their future's going to be like. When's the last time that you helped somebody else look down the road into a vision, into a dream that just inspired them to become everything that God wants them to become? Now, what do you say at a moment like that? Well, it'll happen. Perhaps you could use the words, I believe you are becoming, or I can see you. How about the words, I believe you are becoming? Let's put that down in our notebook. I believe you are becoming, and then give them the dream. Then give them the dream. At that very moment, you know what you need to do? Let that dream stay there in their mind's eye. Don't talk and ruin it. Just let them look at it for a minute. You'll see their eyes kind of become soft. Just pause for a minute. Pause. Let it sink in. Friends, imagine the overwhelming encouragement that would occur if we stopped complaining about the past and saw visions of the future. Because love hopes, doesn't it? Love does see the best. Love believes the best. It believes it enough to talk about it. Well, before going on to the last step, I'd like to just pause here for a few minutes and give you a couple more secrets about how to make this really work. What's behind, what lies beneath expectations that really do blossom people? Maybe you can write these near your expect box in your notebook. There's 5 of them. An expectation is effective if, number 1, if it's in the future tense. If it's in the future tense. Don't talk about the past. Pull it to the future. Number 2, it's positive, not negative. Don't say, I can see you becoming a failure. I can see you becoming a turkey, whatever it is. Something future, something positive. Number 3, this is an important one. It's desirable to the person that's listening. It's desirable. That is, they would love to become what you're picturing for them. If you're talking to a 9-year-old boy, don't say, I could see you becoming a vice president of IBM. It's not going to work for them. Something they would love to be. Number 4, it's inspiring. It's inspiring and not confining. It's inspiring and not confining. It must leave enough room. Now listen carefully. It must leave enough room for the person who's listening to you to complete their own dream. Just give them enough of it. Just give them the landscape. Let them paint in their own trees and construct their own brooks. For instance, don't say something like, I can see you getting straight A's on your report card from now on. That's not an expectation. And to some children, that could be a prison. Softer, gentler. Put some silver lining in that cloud. Maybe you could say, sweetheart, I sense you're becoming a person who is really using all of your skills and all of your potential. And you're going to be thrilled as you enjoy the fulfillment of doing your best and of being your best. See, use your imagination to do what? To unleash their imagination. Let them define what that means to them. And you know what? When they do, their dream is better than your dream. And lastly, number 5, it's believable. That is, your expectation out there is believable. It's something that you can believe is possible for that person. Don't lie to them. Not only is it unethical to lie, but the person who's listening to you won't believe you. And the expectation won't encourage them, it's going to discourage them. Always tell the truth. Well, what's the last one? The last one is the word endear. Endear. After they have experienced this expectation is the word endear. This is where you have to take your words and touch them with a hug. Go beyond just the verbal. Become physical. This is where you share some affection. This is where, if it's appropriate, you touch them. You hug them. Young man, hit them on the shoulder. Obviously, be careful and use discretion. But boy, when you say that precious thing to them right here, and they're just overwhelmed with that thought. That you, that other important person in them, believes that about their future, then come on over there and let them know that you're honest with them. Touch them. Now, let's see how this works. Got it? Examine. Expose it. Tell them you see it. Tell them how you feel about it. Turn it into some dream in the future that they would love to become, and then touch them with it. Let's see if we can't put it in the home. We could do it in the classroom or work, but let's try it at the home. Let's say it happens to you. You're the dad, and you've had one hectic schedule at work, and you finally have the first Saturday off in a month, and you've been telling your wife, I can't wait. I can finally sleep in past 6 o'clock this Saturday. I'm going to sleep in until 9 o'clock. So you turn off your alarm clock, and you just get in this deep sleep, and you hear this rattling at the door. I mean, this shaking, and it wakes you right up, and you look, it's still dark outside the window, and you hear these dishes, and your wife jumps right out of bed, goes right around. It seems like it's in the middle of the night, and you say, man, what's going on? Opens the door, and here is your little 9-year-old daughter. She's in her nightgown. She's got this big smile, and she's holding this tray that's almost as big as she is, and you can't believe it. I mean, it looks like she made you breakfast in bed at 6 o'clock in the morning. So she comes walking in, and you realize you better wake up. Here's your daughter. She says to you, Daddy, I just made you breakfast in bed, Daddy, for the first time. Big old smile. Just like Mommy does for you. I made it. Now, what a moment. What a moment. If your antenna was awake, you'd realize what a beautiful moment in the life of your 9-year-old daughter to blossom her. Second step, expose. Tell her what she did. Jenny, you just made me breakfast in bed. All by yourself. And look at this meal that you made for me. Wow! Pause. Now look back up on your 5 steps. What should you do next? After you expose it, express some emotion. Pause. Jenny, that makes me feel so wonderful, so loved. I think I'm the happiest daddy in the whole wide world. Pause. Now just look at her for a minute. There she is. Can you see it right that moment? Now, what did she say a minute ago? Just like who? Just like Mommy. Well, there's your clue. Who does that little girl want to be like when? Out there. What's the secret dream in her little heart? To someday to be just like Mommy. So be a visionary father for her dream. Expect. Turn right around and take her smile and throw it out there to the stars. Do you know what, sweetheart? I believe that you are becoming a wonderful young lady, and that you are going to become a mommy just like your mom. That's going to be so wonderful. And then reach over, pull her up onto your bed and give her one big hug and tell her how much you love her. Friends, she's going to walk out of that bedroom on air, isn't she? She's not even going to hit the floor. Why? Because her daddy thinks she's becoming what? Like Mommy. The most wonderful person in the whole world to her. You see, it's really not that hard. You can do that. In fact, friends, once you get started, you'll never want to stop. It's time now to move off our 5 steps and to move to the 7 maximizers of the law of expectation, because you're going to find that those maximizers really helpful in further equipping you to blossom people in your classroom, to blossom people in your home, to blossom people in your office. In fact, my friends, blossoming knows no boundaries. All right, let's move on to some maximizers. 7 of them, 7 quick tips. Tip number 1, employ opportunities purposefully. Employ opportunities purposefully. That is, start looking out for some times that you can do this. I have a pastor friend who does this really wisely. After church on Wednesday night, he goes home, has some time with his family, then he goes into his study, 9:30. He does some work, and then he takes out a 3x5 card little box. And in there, he has all of his deacons on a card. Their names, their children's names, what they do, and prayer requests. Every Wednesday night at 9:45, he'll pull out the next card of the next deacon. The one from the week before is at the back now. He'll read through that. He'll stop and he'll pause and he'll pray for them by name. Then he will use an opportunity purposefully. He'll say, I'm going to express, he'll call the person at home, 9:45. And he'll say, can I speak to Bob? Hi, Bob, this is the pastor. Of course, Bob says, what's the matter? That says a lot, doesn't it? What's the matter? Well, Bob, I just want to let you know something, that I just finished praying for you and your wife, and he names the children, and the 2 prayer requests that you gave me that I've been praying for on a regular basis. And I wanted to just call you tonight and tell you what a pleasure it is to have you on the deacon board. And your contribution means so much to me. I feel really encouraged having men like you on the board who really care, who give their all, who are not yes men, and who really participate, not just with their words, but with their life and with their action. It makes me feel really encouraged. Pause now. Throw it to the future. And Bob, I sense that God's hand is really on you, and that I can see in the future, as you continue to mature and serve Him, God's going to use you in some exciting ways. It's a pleasure being your pastor, Bob. Thanks for the privilege. Number 2, express expectations creatively. Let me give you 5 ways. Way number 1, pray it. Pray it. Don't even tell the other person. Pray your expectations about the other person to God. Second thing you can do is to say it to them indirectly. Now, gang, that is really powerful. Here's how it happens. You got some papers, you're the teacher, and you're giving out the papers. And here, Henry, here's your paper. Here, Mary, there's your paper, and here's your... Oh, this paper right here. This next paper. Now, when I saw this paper, young people, I said to myself, look at that. I mean, that is